it is the final countdown, and we don't have too many more of these with the baseball season, regular season wrapping up. But here's what we got today. We got DC, we got my man Gary. But as I told him before the show started, outside of winning myself, there's nobody I'm happier for than this man, K. Fallick. 6-figure takedown in the showdown last night. Not only do members never win, K. Fallick never wins. Congratulations, my friend. And what you said, happy Sukkot. So way to go. What's going on, pal?
Thank
You're
you.
the star
Thank you.
today.
I appreciate it. It was a good run. The mojo was rolling in the NFL chat in the fourth quarter when the game was getting out of hand. It became important to me. And Trinity Benson brought us home, and we had some good winnings. So I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate the coordinators. It was a lot of fun. We got some more money to win tonight because my wife already spent it, as I said. So we got to win some more money. I'll be right back. Someone's at my door.
Okay, very good. Go get the door. That's great. And that'll give me a second to push premium to everybody that is not a member already. We've got the core, we got the playbook. So if you have, I mean, at this point, we're at the end of baseball season. You still got a couple weeks to make some money with us. Core plays, all of our best. DC, Big T, Gary, K. Fallick, JSU, all of our JT, all of them putting their best plays. They give you the core, and you only got to figure out a couple other spots. The playbook gives you all the plays that were on here. The next thing to tell you, like button and subscribe. Now, this is going to be a little tricky because I was supposed to tell you that the subscribe, he's back. The subscribe button is next to, it's a red button and it's next to K. Fallick. So yeah, look around K. Fallick and then see a red button there. Just hit the subscribe button. So even if you don't want to give us money for that, hit the subscribe button because you appreciate all the great free content we've given you this year. And last but not least, members never win. So let's go look at some people that never win. We'll start with a guy that had a $15 single bullet, and he won 2.5K. His name is Alter Bridge. That was in baseball. Congratulations, Alter Bridge. We still got our guys winning cashish here in MLB. In NFL, The Wog Show, 12K. Jay Shannon, 11, 62K. John Galt, 160K. And, I guess, he works for free, so I'll say he's a member too. K. Fallick, $115,000, buddy. $115,000. I mean, that's just sensational. Very happy for you. Okay.
Thank you. I also, so there was a soccer slate today. It was a terrible slate, to be honest, but we had a member who won $1,000 from $15 today, just in an afternoon soccer slate. So the lowdown, congrats to him as well. It's fun to be in the Discord. It's fun to be in the RPS world where you can just enjoy other people's wins and sweat some out with them. I was sweating with him. I had no chance of winning, but I was enjoying the little sweat with him for the last few minutes. So congrats to the lowdown as well on his 1K win off of $15.
All right. Oh, and sorry, Izzy, you're right. I left out G Risen. I should have given him a shout out. So listen, you want to sign up? Go for it. Members never win, but they really do. RPS Heater 25. RPS Heater 25 promo code, 25% off your first payment with the monthly Elite or Elite Plus bets. All right, I got the spiel out of the way. DC, how the hell are you? Haven't talked to you yet. Chiefs hat is back on. You must be hurt over that gut-wrenching loss over the weekend, but you've had 2 days to bounce back. So what's on your mind, pal?
Yeah, I think if you play DFS every day, you bounce back a little bit faster from like normal team losses. You're like, I can get my ass kicked sometimes multiple days in a row. I can bounce back from the Chiefs loss. It was a fantastic game. I was waiting to talk there for a while. I had to go the full 5 minutes before you even said hi to me, Holden. A little bit insulting, but hey, it's all good. Congrats obviously to K. Fallick and all the other winners and all the good stuff we're doing at Run Pure Sports. Like you said, the subscribe button, it's not subscribe to our site, right? We're not asking for any money. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you can get notified anytime we come on. It's usually at least one, sometimes multiple days a week with free shows. So I'll join you, Holden, in promoting the brand here.
Well, thank you very much. Gary, wonderful to see you. Gary is scary, but you're really not. What's that hat you got on today? It's kind of fancy. I like it.
It's a branded Bills hat. I saw an ad go across my Facebook, and I thought I had to have it. It's It's nice. I like it.
Is it like an Air Force hat or something?
No, it's just an eagle with the American flag on it.
Yeah, America. It's totally
Yeah.
awesome.
It's
And
America.
the background is the Braves. So we got a lot
Yeah.
going on today. It's an hour show, so let's pace ourselves, boys. And if you got any questions, the premium members can put it in the premium chat, and we will get to you guys first. Although DC's very good with hitting up your answers in there, and K Fallick is too. So Gary, I'm not going to say you're not, but I know these guys are.
Gary's better than all of us. So
Hurtful.
Hello.
Very hurtful.
Hello, Myers. Good to see you again, pal. How's everything going? Okay. Let's get into the slate though. K Fallick, since you won, let's get your breakdown on pitching. Take your time. We got a lot of it.
yeah, it's pitching isn't great tonight. I know DC just said that, but I'm not impressed with pitching at all tonight, and I'm really struggling to figure it out, because what I want to do is be probably what is a terrible move and go against the two worst teams in the league, right? One of the two of the worst teams in the league, and play these terrible pitchers in a great ballpark setting in Chicago, and then pay up for all the bats. But I know that's not going to work. I already know that that's going to end up being a failure, because these pitchers aren't that great. And they aren't, it's not necessarily that they're 4 or 5K, they're in the 6K range. So, but Alec Mills and Griffin Jacks have to be in consideration. They are chalky. Everything about it tells me that I should not be playing them. Like every single thing in the entire world tells me I should not be playing them, because I feel like it's a trap spot. And I see DC smiling at me, so I'm pretty sure he agrees.
Hold on, K Fallick. Why are you laughing and smiling, DC?
Because he agrees.
Why wouldn't I be? Yeah, we're on the show here on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, and I do agree with Alec Mills and Griffin Jacks. It's not that we see bad pitchers deliver good performances from time to time, but these guys just have such low upside too, right? And then obviously the risk. So it's just hard for them, I think, to get there. I get the argument for it, because we don't really think many pitchers are going to crush it all, and maybe they can come within 10 points of the top scoring pitcher, something like that is what you'd be hoping for. But I don't know, there are enough pitchers on the slate where you kind of think some of the decent guys up top would get you, at least 20, 25. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I will say this though. You just won 100K last night. If everything in your body and your mind is telling you don't go to these guys,
I don't
trust your gut today.
Yeah, I don't
say that.
I don't play that way. Today is a completely new day. I have completely the wire is already in process from DraftKings, so I do not have any way of getting that money currently. And today is just like playing a regular day, regular bankroll. One thing that our buddy Big T taught me was you play every day the exact same, no matter if you win everything or if you lose everything. You have to figure out a way to play it the same way.
Yeah.
So anyways, I want to like Kevin Gausman, because I feel like they're in a very important spot today where they need this win. They want to get rid of San Diego. They want to end their season, and then they want to keep on with their position in the number one spot. Yeah. Good park environment, everything about it. I do like about him, except for how he's been performing.
Yeah. We should probably let our friend Gary talk too. Gary, what are your thoughts on pitching?
Yeah. So.
I mean, I hate to do your job for you, Holden, but I got to move along and let Gary speak.
I don't think you did a good job, but that's okay. We'll let Gary talk for a second.
Hey, so Brandon Woodruff up top. I don't think he's going to be very popular tonight. And St. Louis has been hitting the ball a lot recently. I think he's probably safe, but I don't think I want to pay that price for him. Honestly, up top, anybody above 9K, I don't think I have any interest in. Maybe other than Alek Manoah, he might be the one guy, but even him, that's 9.5K going against Tampa Bay. He's done well against Tampa Bay this year, but I mean, this is the third or fourth time he's faced them. I think in my main lineup, I'm going to stay away from anybody above 9K.
Anyone above 9K, Dunsky. Okay.
I mean, I get the argument for that. The Gausman call, K Fallick, I think he's got the upside. San Diego's kind of collapsing a little bit down the stretch here, right? You could see Gaussman delivering in that game. And then Woodruff, I think, is a big question mark to me. I mean, he's been obviously fantastic pretty much all year. But
they're not playing for anything anymore.
No, yeah, I know. That's the question mark. Someone asked that in Discord as well. I don't know. You know, we're still 2 weeks out from the end of the regular season. It's a little early, I think, for the Brewers to just start shutting it down, right? Like, I don't know. You just don't really see baseball teams do that. Like, Woodruff is going strong. He's healthy. So, listen, it could happen, right? They could pull him at 70, 75 pitches, but they haven't yet. I just, like, I don't know. Listen, if this is the last start of the year or something like that, then sure. But you don't just, like, shut it down going into the playoffs, right? He needs to stay stretched out. So maybe it's 90 and not 100, but that's fine, right? Those last 10 pitches, like, a lot of times bad things happen during those last final innings anyway. So, you know, I listed Woodruff as my number one or number two. And, you know, I know St. Louis is hot too, but I just think Woodruff has a lot of upside if they give him his full workload. And I understand that they might not, but I kind of tend to think that they will give him most of it anyway. Do you guys have thoughts on what they're going to do with Woodruff there?
I just think St. Louis is playing very well right now, and they're playing for their playoff lives. And
I'm honestly more worried about that kind of than the match.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. So I always go back to who are the guys that if we don't feel confident in any real, like, if there's not a pitcher that we feel incredibly confident that is going to blow away this slate currently, then it takes me back to the same way that I approach every single slate now, is attacking the bad baseball teams.
Yeah.
And that's where it takes me to a guy like Jordan Montgomery. And I know he's being talked about a little bit, but he's 8.3K. They need the win. Texas is bad. They don't, like, the one thing that I always get scared of with Jordan Montgomery is his walks. And Texas doesn't walk that much, and they have no plate presence. So that leaves me with interest in a guy like Jordan Montgomery for sure. He also has a good, like, to add to it, he has a pretty solid umpire so there's that piece to it as well, to, like, just add a little cherry on top. So right now my plan is for Jordan Montgomery for sure. Like, I'm pretty set on Jordan Montgomery being that guy for me tonight, and hoping for the win equity. If he goes 5 innings, he's getting the pitch counts right now. I feel as if Aaron Boone doesn't trust his bullpen that much. So Jordan Montgomery is going to for sure be my first pitcher in my lineup.
He's, you know, when I said Woodruff number one or number two, Montgomery was, like, kind of the potential number one, right? I kind of say, like, my SP1 and my SP2 personally is, like, my SP1 is the guy, he's the first pitcher in my lineup, right? Not necessarily the guy I expect to perform better. And Montgomery, 8,300 DraftKings, like, his numbers on the year are pretty good. The metrics back it up. And then you got to consider the offenses that he's faced. I mean, some good matchups recently, but overall in the season, I think he's faced the Red Sox like 6 times.
It's the AL East. The AL East is just an absolute monster.
Right. All those brutal parks. This one is a rare, like, really, really strong matchup for him. I mean, the Texas lineup is just horrible. They should have to lean on him. I think they will. And, you know, he's had a good season, but I think he's a better pitcher even than his numbers or even his metrics indicate, unless you kind of factor in the strength of schedule, which he's had a brutal one. So I'm in on Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm definitely in on Montgomery too.
Yeah. Do any of you guys play cash? Serious question. Like, does anyone play cash?
Not at the beginning of the year, yes. At this time of the year, no.
All right. Well, I guess we can answer this since we have played cash, and we can talk about the highest floor. But in our premium chat, Brian Palinkas wants to know who's the two cash pitchers for everybody. I'm a little late. So who are the 2 guys that have the highest floor, that are the safest tonight? Is Woodruff that guy? Tonight?
I think we all agree Montgomery, especially if you're talking points per dollar, which is, I think, kind of the bigger cash discussion.
Brian, we have a really solid cash chart with guys that play cash on a daily basis. I'm looking at it right now, and you have Title on DraftKings, Hoop on FanDuel. I always believe that when it comes to those, while there may be a few differences between the two, between DraftKings and FanDuel, in the end, you can use those player pools that they have as comparative to each other the whole time as well. So you'll see 2 names on FanDuel that Hoop has. You'll see 5 names on there that Title has, and I think that they're all fair plays, and you can take a look and feel confident that you're playing some guys that should be in your cash lineups.
Great answer. So subs, if you're looking for cash plays, go to the cash chart. I mean, I think it's terrific. If any of you 3 just want to throw a name out there, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go for Montgomery, right?
Montgomery would be in my cash lineup for sure on DraftKings, and I personally would go Woodruff. I think he's pretty safe. But Montgomery for sure, and then from there it would be kind of depend, I think, a little bit on what I wanted to do cash wise for my hitters, and then I might go back to pitcher at SP2.
Gary, just real quick, you want to chime in on this? Like, what one pitcher is the safest tonight?
It's Jordan Montgomery.
Okay,
easily.
Too simple. Yeah, it's very simple. Okay, guys, more questions. We'll absolutely get to them, and we got self-uncontrol in the premium chat. What do you guys think about Urquidy? Anybody want to? How about you, Gary? You haven't talked that much. What do you think of Urquidy tonight?
Yeah, so I think he's my other pitcher tonight. I'm glad that K Fallick's on here on the show with me, because he is the Houston pitcher whisperer. He's coming off 25 DraftKings points. He's 9K. This is a great matchup in LA for him against this Angels team that's just striking out a ton right now. I like him a lot. Let me hear what K Fallick's got to say on him.
So the only thing that I think that he's a good play. The one thing that I would caution, and it's a small caution, is he's reverse splits. So he is much better versus he's much better versus lefties than against righties. And the LA Dodgers or the LA Angels, have a lot. I believe their righties are better than their lefties. So that's the one caution I would throw out. The bullpen is also healthy right now. They're rested after a good outing by Framber last night as well, plus a blowout, so they didn't have to play any of their good bullpen pitchers. So there is the concern of that. But when you look at the K rates for these guys, they're through the roof. When you look at the walk rates for these guys, they're low. It's just in my opinion, you have to hope that the Angels throw out lefties more than they throw out righties, and you may be in good position at that point.
Gavitz just posted Mike Latoris won 12 grand last night in Showdown. So I had to get that out there too. Thanks, Gavitz. Appreciate that. Mike Latoris won. I think Tambo won a little bit too. Back to the baseball. DC, we got a question from Matt S. So Sanchez behind the plate does not affect Montgomery at all? Question mark.
I mean, not enough for me to change him being the top projected, point per dollar pitcher on the slate. No, maybe you'd rather have the other guy, but the metrics actually don't show Sanchez is all that bad. So no, I'm not really worried about that.
Okay. And I don't think anybody on the panel does, because no one's really brought it up and bothered with it. Are you interested in a sub 5% Urias at all? Who, by the way, when he was last out here in Colorado, did not have a very good outing. Let's go through all 3 of it. DC, any interest? Urias?
Not really.
Okay, Fallick?
I think he's overpriced for what he can offer tonight.
Gary went like this. And then you said your thing,
for me.
and then he went like this. So, yeah. All right, we're staying off of him. Wonderful. Is the roof open in Arizona? Does anybody have an answer to that?
It is.
It was open yesterday.
Okay, roof is open. K Fallick says yes. So what does that do for you guys?
I mean, I think slight bump to the offense. The data shows it doesn't make all that much of a difference.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the offense before we do that. You guys are not doing that again. You guys are not getting me. Did you get me on that again? Oh, you're so good, Gavitz. You're so good. You guys didn't even know that I got gotten, did you? You had no idea. He got me again. My Latoris. Mike Latoris. I mean, why you're not. Gavitz, you son of a bitch. You're good though, man. You're good. You got me. I mean, there's really nothing I can do. I'm sober. I studied, and you got me. So Gavitz, way to go.
Can we spend a few minutes just talking through this Alec Mills, Griffin Jack situation? I think jumped on it.
And
we
the
jumped
win
on it for a
situation?
minute, but I think it deserves at least a few minutes of actual conversation of who do you prefer between these two, and any other thoughts that you have on them.
Well, here's my question for you. How much does the wind blowing in at 10 miles an hour factor into
Oh
that?
yeah, everything about it screams that they should be in play, except for their talent and their talent and their ownership are the two things that scare me.
How highly owned do you think these guys are going to be? Because I'll just be honest. I think you are more interested in Griffin Jackson, the Alec Mills plays than I was. I don't know if Gary, if you were like honing in on those guys much. Like,
I think they'll probably end up about 15%.
Okay.
A piece.
I think they're gonna make up 50% ownership between the two of them.
50.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, they are going to be around 50%.
I don't think so. Personally.
No?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm playing some Cubs bats then.
No, I'm seeing
Twins bats. I mean,
I'm seeing. Listen, I have a lot of respect for other sites' projections and stuff like that, and I'm seeing as them being two of the highest projected point per dollar plays with ownership in the 20s.
I don't necessarily disagree about that they should be high, that they would end up being projected high point per dollar plays because you understand everything that goes into projection, right? I mean, it's the low salary and it's going up against a team that strikes out a lot.
Correct. And,
with
and
a low
the weather.
team total. So of course you're going to have a decent projection. I mean, I get that part of it. I don't know. I more disagree with, I just don't think they have the upside necessarily to get there. And then, I don't know. I just don't think the masses are going to go to those two pitchers myself, but we'll see.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Anything else on the pitching you guys want to get to? I got one more question in the chat, but if it's on this, DC, keep going.
No. I mean, K. Fallick, I mean, he's a great player. He knows what he's talking about. So what are you going to do with those two guys? Because I'm going to go to Woodruff and Montgomery. I would rather pay up. I think you can find good enough bats, some cheap guys. I mean, are you going to end up on those guys?
So it's the decision I'm making is am I going to pay down for those one or two bats that is going to allow me to fit the bats that I want to fit in there anyways, or am I? I don't have the answer yet, solely because I need to figure out the bats that are going to lead me to the promised land if I'm going to get there with these guys. If not, again, the like a guy that y'all probably have no interest in at all, in that I would have been interested in if it weren't for the DH for the Mets, is Eduardo Rodriguez. Like, I think that he is a viable GPP play who is a boomer bust play, but I'm very concerned about having to face 9 actual solid hitters of the New York Mets versus not. So like if he was playing in New York instead of playing in Boston, I'd have a lot of interest in Eduardo Rodriguez, and I may be looking at that incorrectly. But everything I'm seeing on him is that he has the GPP upside that I'm looking for and the ownership that I'm looking for as well. And that's a guy I'd rather find $1,800 or $2K to find to make that work.
All right, there is another coordinator that's kind of going the Jax Mills route. Just so you know. So I think and personally, K. Fallick, I think there is going to be ownership there because of the weather. I think when people look at the wind blowing in at Wrigley, they just say automatically play it, because I don't care how shitty the pitcher is. We'll just roll them out there. So I'm with you on the ownership there tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if both were between 9 and 15%.
Which one do you like better between the two, K. Fallick?
Mills.
It's Mills.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have said Jax, but I'm also a Twins fan, and I didn't really have a strong opinion anyway, so I could possibly be a little bit biased there. But yeah.
Oh boy.
It's unfortunately Mills. I don't know how else to put it, but it's
Twins. I personally think the Twins lineup is better than the Cubs right
now.
now.
It absolutely is, but I also look at like what is Jack's been doing recently, and it's hard to play him based off of what
I agree with that.
Current performances have been.
I must say, this might be our best show yet. I love all this discussion. And I'm not kidding you. I'm saying this seriously. like going back and forth between two completely shitty pitchers. What are we doing with the best pitcher on the slate? Jordan Montgomery is the chalk. It really is a fascinating slate. And especially when you got all these kids called up at the end of the year too. Chef Nakia, any love for Tukey tonight? We haven't really brought him up, have we?
No, go ahead. Well, you're the Braves guy, Gary. So we'll let you talk.
No, I wouldn't mess with that. He's been like a reliever. It's a complete bullpen game here for the Braves tonight. So I wouldn't touch any of them.
Complete bullpen tonight. Don't touch him. Okay.
The only good thing I can say about Tukey is that he has an opportunity to get 4 points because through a win, based off of the fact that they're putting an opener in Jesse Chavez. This gives him the opportunity to pitch his 4 innings and get the win. So if he gets a couple strikeouts and allows no runs, then he has a chance of getting to the 15 points, I think, is your ceiling for a guy like him right now with what they're doing with him.
What? Why is Jesse Chavez opening? Like, don't they have like Ketel Mart, like bunch of lefties at the top of that lineup? It doesn't.
Hey, Chavez has been good.
All right, maybe I've missed that.
He's old, but he's been good.
Okay.
So there's a couple things I need to. Hey, K Fallick, you'll remind me. Don't forget to let me remind everybody about what happened with the Blue Jays and the Rays, because something fascinating is going on there. DFS, yeah. I mean, he got me. What am I going to do? So here we go again. If you look at our screen right now and you see the beautiful glowing K Fallick, what you're going to want to do is if you haven't already, hit that red button, the subscribe button. We would love for you to subscribe to our channel. If you're a member, if you're not a member, we've been giving you terrific free information all season long. Hit the subscribe button. That would be a very nice thing for you to do. Good mojo. You'll probably win tonight if you do that. That's the first thing. The second thing to get to is RPS Heater 25. RPS Heater 25, 25% off your first monthly payment. And the last thing to let you know is tonight we're taping the Wishbone Pod. Got a lot of great feedback off of week 2. Week 3 is coming up. It's Uncle T's birthday tonight. He is turning 61. We're very happy for him. And we would be very happy if you listened to the Wishbone Pod.
Yeah, so a big happy birthday to Uncle T. But I must say, I just want to, sorry to stop you with your marketing material.
Yeah.
I was very unimpressed with Mr. Big T, Tony Niehaus, who made his uncle sit at home and eat lunch on his own when they go to lunch, like I think 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly tomorrow is going to be their lunch day is what Uncle T told me. But like, how rude of Tony Niehaus to not take his uncle out to lunch on his birthday and make him sit at home and eat alone.
Yeah, there's no doubt that he's just the guy that no one wants to deal with. Uncle T. He is the black cat. I don't know what they call what it is, the oddball out of there, but they definitely don't want to mess with him. He's somebody that they don't even claim. The marketing points are done. Hit the subscribe button. So let me tell you about this. This is from one of the Blue Jays beat reporters. The Blue Jays aren't happy. Last night in the 6th inning, Kevin Kiermaier slid into home, ended up grabbing a card, which was from Alejandro Kirk's wristband. On that card, the Blue Jays game plan on pitching to the Rays hitters. Absolutely fascinating. And that's going on tonight, boys. Now the Rays know everything about the Blue Jays. Do we give a shit? Gary?
No.
K Fallick. Draft cheat.
I gotta make it a slam dunk 3 for 3.
You just wait. The Blue Jays are getting no hit tonight, okay? No, that's not gonna happen. The Rays are putting up 60 runs tonight. It's gonna be amazing. All right, guys. And yes, Uncle T is great, Brian K. He is the redheaded stepsister. There's no doubt about it. And we're gonna kill each other tonight on the pod. So make sure you check out the Wishbone. Myers, if Myers is blaming me again, if you don't win tonight, you're kicking my ass. All right, bring it, Myers, bring it on, pal. And it's not live. It's not live. It'll be on in the morning. We'll put it on YouTube, and you can listen to it on your favorite podcast. So enough of that. So let's move on to the hitting. And again, we got a little bit of time today. So more than one stack. Gary, you're so patient. You're so sweet. Let's get your number one stack. We'll get to everybody.
I mean, what are we talking about, K. Falik? I have to set the record straight because people are calling me cheapskates in the chat. we usually go to eat at like noon. I invited him to go eat at like 11:55, and the donkey was like, "Oh, I'm already doing something today. Well, maybe we can get together tomorrow," he said. So you got incorrect information, Mr. Fallick. I know you had the big night last night. You're feeling good about yourself, but that was incorrect. I did try to buy him lunch today.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. May I make one suggestion to you? Plan a little bit. It's like you didn't invite me to your birthday party.
I'm not sure I can go along with that. I'm not much of a planner, as you guys know by now.
Let me just say this. I do appreciate Big T coming on to defend his honor.
Yeah.
I'm glad that every time we insult Holden when he's not here, he doesn't pop back on the show. He usually on like the first 2 minutes of every show. So.
When I'm not working, I ain't watching. I ain't doing shit when I'm not working. So yes, that is. I don't care what you say. Go for it. It's all good. What's happening, Big T? Anything? You got
Nothing.
your room
I mean, I haven't been on with these guys in a minute for the baseball. I had to pop on.
Room's finished. Looks kind of sexy, except for the honor poster. Everything's perfect. How about that football helmet?
Yeah, it's not bad. I still got a sign coming, a Run Pure sign that's going where that whiteboard is, but that's the final touch. It's almost done.
It's nice. I like it. Gary, before we were so rudely interrupted by the president of the company, why don't you let us know who your number one stack is tonight, why, and who you picking out from it?
Got to be Philadelphia for me over my Braves. I think Braves are number 2 for me, but I'll stick with Philly. This Baltimore team is just terrible. Whatever pitchers they're throwing out there, it's not going to be good. So give me everybody in this lineup. I mean, Harper, Herrera, Segura, Galvis, Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I like them all. So Philly's definitely my top stack tonight.
Okay. K. Fallick, what do you got here, buddy?
Brew Crew for me. I like them brews tonight. They Woodford is not a good pitcher. Get the lefties, get him at a high price, probably low ownership as well, and hopefully make some good money off of them.
Hopefully make some good money off of them. All right. What do you got here, DC? Is it going to be the Phillies?
Yeah, I'm going to join Gary in on the Philly stack here. Give me the team going up against the pitching staff that contains 0 good pitchers on the entire staff. You guarantee yourself a great matchup the entire game. Philadelphia is still playing hard, throwing out their best lineups. In Baltimore, just absolutely collapsing on the pitching end. Bunch of minor leaguers against a pretty solid lineup that is for the most part is pretty affordable outside of Bryce Harper, who you can fit in there with good pitching and the hitters around him. So Philly's number 1 for me.
Number 1. Hey, Big T, have you looked at the slate yet? Or you just
I've been listening along with the boys, trying to find some winners here. And I mean, I don't know how you don't take Philly, because going against Connor Green, and they got my lineup. I always like this lineup against righties. You got Big Brad Miller in the 5, Freddie Galvis in the 8. Kind of lets you space the whole lineup, where you can obviously you're going to play Bryce Harper if you play him, but then you got 2 more guys down the list. You can play Odubel at a cheap price. And like K. Fallick said to start the show, and these guys too, but let's pick on the bad teams. Why not? I mean, let's pick on Baltimore. Why would you want to play Toronto and Tampa when they're playing for something? Boston's playing for something. Milwaukee and St. Louis are playing for something. I mean, the Cubs in Minnesota suck. Sure, you can take the Dodgers at Coors. I mean, sure. But as you guys know, I don't necessarily love doing that. So just give me Philly. I think Philly looks easy. How do they not score a bunch of runs? They're not. You guys know better than me. They're not out of the race yet, are they? They still got a little hope, or no? Are they dead?
They might cost us a lot of money if they win the division.
No, they're like 2 or 3 games behind the Braves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, sign me up then. Yeah, definitely on Philly if they're trying to get in the playoffs still.
Yeah. Going back to the Dodgers, I mean, we really haven't talked about them much. They're going to be very popular, obviously. What a team total between 6.5 and 7 against the Rockies, Coors Field. It is much cooler here this week, though. 65 degrees. I mean, it won't be quite like the true summer Coors Field weather. If that's maybe I'm just trying to talk myself into fading the Dodgers, but it is one point worth making.
Okay.
Also,
Rosario.
I don't think Senzatella allows like in history. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but historically, he does not allow enough points for the prices that you're paying for cores in that environment.
Yeah, it'll be chilly tonight for sure.
He's a bend but don't break type of pitcher. He'll allow you to get those singles and stuff, but he's not going to allow the big hits. Is what usually has been his MO. That has kept him going in the major. So
that's what us Dodger faders are hoping for. So
are you guys just full fading? You're full fading. Well, no. Tony's full fading cores. What are you guys? DC full fade of cores or some bats?
I'm not going to play any of the Rockies hitters. I don't think, and I don't really want to. The Dodgers are going to be so popular. You know, there's just so many guys you can stack from the Dodgers. Like, obviously, you kind of want those first 6 guys, but then people will go to Lux and Bellinger. So I think you'll see the Dodgers have really, really high ownership. And I don't really want to grab one of these guys at such a high price tag, try to, have him be the only one that does anything somehow for the Dodgers in Coors Field. It doesn't seem very likely. So I think you got to kind of make a stand either way, right? Either get at least 3 Dodgers and probably 5 in there, or fade him entirely. That's the way I see this one.
So it's just not worth it going like let's just throw out 2 names, Turner and Seager tonight.
Yeah. Like Seager, I think is the best, the best play the guy would want, but he also doesn't have a huge amount of power and is probably going to be going off if his teammates do too, right? Driving in runs and coming around the bases. So I just don't see it.
Phallic, just full fade tonight.
Yeah. I'm going to fade.
Gary?
I got the one-off, though. And it's going to make DC upset. But Gavin Lux is finally heating up a little bit, and he's 3K is the difference. He's not priced up like these other dudes.
Actually, no, I think he is. Yeah. Him or Bellinger, I think, is the best one-off on that team. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gavin Lux is a guy you're throwing out. Gary, are you just full fading this?
Yeah, I'm full fading it. Senzatella is just, I'm probably going to jinx it now, but he's thrown like 6 or 7 straight quality starts. Home and away. So, and I think he's given up 3 bombs in the last 10 games or something like that he started. So, yeah, I'm off of him.
Yeah, he's been absolutely terrific. There's no question about that. Let's get into secondary stacks. Gary, we'll stay with you here. Maybe mini stacks or other stacks and other lineups that you're going with, but what's number 2 and 3? And maybe you could specify whether or not it's a mini.
Yeah, so I dropped my core in the Discord. I'm going with the Braves. I'm going with the Homer pick tonight. I got Freddie Freeman and Rosario, who's kind of heating up a lot. He's been hitting the ball. He's only 2,900. He allows me to do a lot there. So the Braves are heating up. They're still trying to, win that division there. So the Braves are definitely my second favorite team. And then probably it would be the Yankees after that. So
Duvall hitting a 484-foot home run is going to get him in your core tonight?
He's not making my main lineup, no.
Okay.
I prefer the lefties.
Okay. And so Solaire's not in the circle of trust either?
They've all been hitting the ball pretty well. So
yeah. So it's
but Luke Weaver's good at baseball.
K5, right? That was like a month ago.
Oh, okay. Last week. Sorry. That was last week's news.
All right. Before we get to everybody else's secondary mini stacks, I do want to get some of these questions. All right, guys. Junior, hey, DC, Garrett Hampson or Eddie Rosario, last piece DK?
Eddie Rosario.
Phallic, favorite 2K or under? Under, you can't go under. Favorite 2K outfielder is a one-off?
It's Tyrone Taylor for Milwaukee.
Gary, Stevie Boynton's in here. He's asking us questions. Any interest in the lower team totals today? Oakland versus Marco and Baltimore against the Philly Penn game.
Yeah.
Could you do a Philly Baltimore game stack and get away with it tonight?
Maybe, but I'm really mad that Mountcastle's not in the lineup for Baltimore. So kind of down my interest there. But I do like a little bit of Oakland though. Marco's been giving up bombs like left and right. So
do we have a pitch count or anything on Adonis Medina or whatever his name is?
I think he's going to go like 2 or 3 innings.
Okay, that's what I thought too, and I wasn't sure. Okay.
B Nair wants to know anyone cheap on the D-backs on the other side tonight. D-backs.
Not for me.
I don't mind them. I'm not super scared of Jesse Chavez and Tuki Toussaint. So that top of those lineup, those first 3 or 4 guys look like decent plays to me.
Bro Willith, Rosario or Lux? Anyone?
They've both been hot.
Yeah, I like both guys. I would lean the
Depends on your
Rosario.
lineup.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. K-Falk, let's go secondary stacks tonight. We're a mini stack. Give me a couple.
Yeah, so I said Milwaukee before.
Mhm.
It's the Phillies is the secondary for me. I put them hand in hand. I just wanted to give people a different answer than what I knew DC and Gary were going to give. So Milwaukee and Philly is really where I'm jumping in and and landing on. I play 2 or 3 lineups, and I anticipate having them being in the 2 stacks completely.
What part of that Milwaukee stack are you looking at? Without, I mean, you don't have to give specific names, but is there a certain part of the order that you're kind of targeting there? Top, middle, bottom?
So I'm basing it on what I'm fitting with my Philly side more than anything else. So prioritizing some Philly pieces is the way that I'm focusing in on it, kind of. So, and the pieces kind of land together pretty easily when you have 5K Omar Narvaez. Like, I'm not paying 5K for Narvaez when I can pay 4.1 for JT Realmuto, who may even be one of the lower owned guys, I think, for Philly, because he's a righty and people focus in on these lefties so much. I may be wrong because he's a catcher and first base, and catcher is so weak today. And he's in the middle of the lineup, but like, I'm focusing in on guys that I think could be that are going to fit the lineup correctly. And I'm not going to pay for Narvaez. They don't have a first baseman on Milwaukee. So like, those are the first 2 spots right there is JT Realmuto and Brad Miller. And then you work your way through it from there.
Guys, I know there's a lot of questions in the free chat. Subscribers, if you're a subscriber, make sure you get it in the live show chat. We'll get to the free questions in a little bit, but obviously we want to get to our guys that are supporting us, that are paying us money right now. So the live show chat is where it is. Kenny, good people, I'm going to pick up your question in just a second. I do want to get to DC though. DC, the secondary stacks, the mini stacks, one-offs. What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, I definitely do like the Diamondbacks a little bit at the top of that lineup. Those guys are really cheap. I think we'll go low owned, and I think have a pretty good matchup. And then the Oakland Mariners game, Stevie Boynton asked about it, but strange warm weather in Oakland. Like, it's like 85 degrees right now, and it's supposed to stay kind of warm through the night. Usually it gets real cold there. So potentially, a much better hitting environment than you typically get at Oakland at night, which, these are 2 not very good pitchers. Marco Gonzalez gives up a ton of power to right-handers. Oakland's got a lot of them. And then it's Blackburn on the other side who isn't any good. So, maybe an 8.5 team total in Oakland's pretty high. Maybe those teams get there. I think you'll get both. I'm not sure there's a hitter in that game that will be over 5% owned, for sure over 10% owned. So, if the park plays differently tonight, and maybe those bats go off, and maybe you have a game stack there.
All right. Very good. And Tony, I kind of know which way you're going right now. So couple of teams that we just talked about. So let's talk about something DC kind of brought up, or maybe you brought, I don't know. If you're going to play, I think you brought it up. If you're going to play the Dodgers, you got to play more than 2. One of you guys said it. So how many Dodgers you got to get in there? And do you subscribe to that theory, Tony? Do you have to have more than 2 Dodgers? You got to have 3 or 4?
I guess it depends on the rest of your roster, like always.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a cop-out, but if I'm on some lower-owned guys, then I think you could mix and match a little bit. But I don't know. I probably won't play a ton of full Dodgers, but I do like the bottom of the lineup. So I feel a little bit more freedom. I mean, Will Smith, Gavin Lux, Cody Bellinger, like DC said, are my 3 favorites. Obviously, I'm not saying you can't play the top 5. Those guys are in cores. They're the Dodgers. I feel like the Dodgers always go off in cores. No idea.
I don't think the Dodgers are a bad play at all. It's just
yeah. Like, I think we all agree on that. Yeah. It's always the same with freaking cores, especially with the Dodgers there. If they score 20 runs, none of us are surprised. Like, literally none of us are surprised. Yeah. You gotta decide how, just like these showdowns when people get all tilted when we say to fade someone, the guy goes off. Like, you can't play everybody. Like, I know people want all the answers, but you got to take some stands and go with it. I'm on the bottom of the Dodgers lineup, though, is where I'm focusing my attention.
Okay. Bottom of the Dodgers lineup for Tony.
It would be sweet if we could predict exactly what was going to happen on every slate, though. That would be fun.
I did love it last night. Not to get too far in the weeds,
Tony is so riled up still from last night.
That's because
I wasn't in there, so I didn't see it.
It was just the full of everything that happened. So I marked Goff as a fade. The playbook marked Aaron Jones as a fade, which Rubio did the playbook. Again, this doesn't matter who did what, because everyone should have faded something. Like you should have faded Rodgers or somebody. You have to fade one of the big people. But that's where so the first quarter, Goff those 2 touchdowns, and the chat's just all over me. Imagine fading Goff and just fucking just destroying me in there. Of course, he didn't end up being in the winner. And then they're destroying Rubio after the game for Aaron Jones. So I was getting my boys back, Rubio, because you have to take some stands. You can't. Everybody's like, how can you fade this guy? How can you fade that guy? You can't freaking play all 3 studs from Green Bay plus Goff plus Swift plus. You can't do it. You got to take. I know it sucks when you're wrong. Believe me, I've been wrong plenty. When you fade Aaron Jones and he scores 4 touchdowns, you think that feels good? Hell no, it doesn't. But you got to make stands to win money.
And then Tony, I made Tony post for me because he knows that I don't post on Twitter. It's just not my thing. I'm not important enough to post on Twitter. But Tony posts on Twitter my winning lineup, and he gets completely wrecked about the fact that he was supposed to be a fade on RPS.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Or you're like, yeah, you win something and like, yeah, like
and then
why are you marking it? They said, K5, why are you posting a screenshot when one of your coordinators played the fades?
But the big thing was why isn't Tony writing all of the playbooks? That was
I'm supposed to write every playbook too. I forgot about that.
Why isn't Tony writing all of the playbooks? Because he is the playbook czar. I'm like,
our boy Slappy got kicked out because obviously I'm not the playbook czar because he was roasting me about all my fades last year on the Showdown.
So listen, guys, we got some news on the Dodgers here.
Bellinger just got.
Yeah, so one of our guys in the premium chat, he goes, did Bellinger get scratched? I said, okay. So I was reading this too. He has been having issues with his ribs, and he was placed in the lineup, but Alden Gonzalez, here's one of their beat writers. He's dealing with issues in his ribs, and he'll probably be scratched from today's lineup and go on the injured list. Now, listen, guys, I'm not telling you he's on the injured list. I am reading what a Dodgers beat reporter just said. He said that he's likely going to be scratched from the lineup. So just keep an eye on it. And if we find the final, whatever the news is, then we'll do it. So again, all these guys, Bellinger to the IL, a possibility as he continues to deal with a rib injury. I mean,
it'll probably just save us money, honestly. Like he's been so bad.
Yeah.
There's not a reason really to play him.
Yeah. So Luke Raley might be the guy that plays though. And you want the bottom of if you want the bottom of the Dodgers lineup is all I'm saying. If you're stacking the Dodgers lineup at the bottom, then just keep an eye on this news. Okay. And I don't know why they threw him in the lineup if they're leaning toward putting him on the IL either.
My advice would be if you have Bellinger in your lineup and he gets scratched, take him out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's all about having a plan. It really is what it comes down to. They're going to replace him with someone. It could be Chris Taylor. It could be, let's see, who else could it be? It could be Billy McKinney or whatever his name is. Like, who knows what the replacement is? But just have a plan. Very simply, just have a plan. You have plenty of games to choose from after. So don't stress when he gets pulled.
Former freeloader, how often do you tell people to suck it when they heckle you on Twitter? I would say 1 out of every 40.
Here's the thing. On Twitter, you have options, right? You can, if people get out of hand, you can block them. They're just done.
Yeah.
We're talking about our members, right? So you got to kind of respond to members in the Discord, right? It's a little bit different. Like Tony, you're not going to be on Twitter all night defending people and talking shit. Like, no, fuck that, right?
It gets hairy. I'll say that. And DC knows better than anyone. When you start going down that street where you're arguing with everyone and defending, it'll never end. You'll just be in there arguing forever. So you got to pick your battles for sure.
Yeah. You do. Here, I'm going to talk about this on the Wishbone pod tonight. I had a guy, basically tell me to fuck off. A subscriber. subscribers.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, so I had to hit him up. I'm like, "You got a problem?" I said,
Was his
nicely.
name Draft Cheat?
No, if Draft Cheat had a problem, I hope he'd just be like, "Hey, dickhead, I'm gonna call you, or we could Zoom."
Well, I certainly wouldn't text you because you'd never see that one.
I definitely would not text you. And actually, you can't hit me up on Twitter because you're muted. So that's fine. You have to call me. You have to call me if you got an issue. So
What would you
in
do
all
if you did?
seriousness.
Holden, what would you do if you just heard a knock at your door?
Yeah.
And you just saw DC standing there like heated up at your door.
I bet it was. The question is it DC or Mangone at that point? Because Mangone.
Well, Mangone wouldn't scare him though. DC, like if he was all heated up, like banging the shit out of the door,
I'd go to my safe and I'd grab my Glock 19 and I'd say,
you go to the door with the gun?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's at my door, yes, I would shut the door.
Even if it was like Mangone, you would go get the Glock?
Mangone's not going to get angry at me.
Well, what if he was? What if he was just heated up?
All right,
like
then I would get a fucking Glock and I'd be like, if
the
you
Mangone, you can't handle Mangone without a Glock?
Well, I want to send a message. My message is don't fuck with me in my own home. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. You come to me at my house, I'm pulling out the Glock.
This is such an egregious lie that I actually might have to do it and find out what Holden does by doing.
I'd fucking do it. I'm telling you. Anyways, that's what we're saying, former freeloader. Zwickler wants me to stop giving the inside information. I didn't know we were giving that much, guys.
Tony, are you okay with your fourth child leaving the house? Is it okay feeling right now, by the way?
I mean, I don't want to like be a dick, but it feels okay to have him out of the house. I mean, everybody's got to spread their wings at some point.
He's down at the Motel 6 from AP's house.
Yeah, he did send me a picture from the motel. He's definitely.
AP didn't allow him in his home.
Bellinger just went on the
IL. Can't fuck with Mangone as a 6-year-old haircut. I'm actually looking forward to him coming out.
Luke Raley officially in the lineup.
All right, so that's it. Bellinger's done.
Yeah.
Rayleigh's in there. So for the one or two of you that had him,
I'm sure Luke Rayleigh's 2K, and you don't need to pay up for a pitcher on this slate.
Is it definitely him? It's not.
It says. I guess
Rayleigh.
maybe not. I guess it's
they
not officially
called Rayleigh.
So maybe it's not officially yet.
Okay.
So
right. So we'll listen. Stay tuned. There's still some news on Bellinger. You're gonna have it by the time the game starts. So there it is. Rayleigh is there. Rayleigh is hitting 8th tonight. So he's in. Luke Rayleigh in for Cody Bellinger. The Dodgers just released that. So now you know. Didn't want you taking a zero.
I will say Luke Rayleigh has some power. The question is, how owned is he going to be at this point with the change in the lineup at the last second? It's an interesting pivot now. People have set their lineups. How many people are going to play Luke Rayleigh and Gavin Lux now at the 7-8? Any thoughts?
Not as many as would have if he was in the lineup originally, right? Is that right?
Thanks, DC.
Well, you asked a question. I figure you might want an answer. So
I'm just saying. The question is, I guess the question is does it make this lineup even more viable because you can get them lower owned?
Definitely helps me because I like the bottom of the lineup, and I didn't really like Bellinger because he's been bad. So I definitely like the lineup better.
That's kind of what I was trying to say. Yeah.
And it gives you more flexibility with salary. So even if it made it a little higher owned, I'm still okay with it.
Joe wants to get Big T's thoughts on Houston on FanDuel. You got any Houston tonight?
Houston on FanDuel. I mean, I don't mind Houston. I think they've been slowly heating up a little bit. I did kind of get on Mangone this weekend, though. Speaking of my fourth son, as K. Fallick said, I just don't like Houston as much. I know this dude sucks and he's not going to go that deep, but he's a lefty. I just don't like playing like Tucker and these lefties, Yordong against a lefty in the park. It is hotter, though, on the West Coast, like you guys said, though. That it makes it a little bit more interesting to me than usual. I mean, I expected to see it in like the 60s like it is everywhere else.
Right.
But it's hotter, so I don't hate Houston. Houston, I would put them in the same bracket where if you want to play them, I'm not going to talk you out of it, but I won't be on Houston tonight.
Okay. So there you go. You got that answered. Guys, if you would like to ask us questions in the chat, we will absolutely answer your questions now. Do you have a FanDuel course? Seawook wants to know, Big T.
Yeah, I actually, I'm glad he said it. You guys got me telling stories. I forgot to even put it up. So it's going to be basically the same as DK, but with a different pitcher. I'm going with a guy these guys were talking about on FanDuel.
Yeah. Okay.
The rest of the guys will be the same, though.
So just so everybody knows, I'm now increasing my interest in the Dodgers for sure. Like I just see it as an opportunity to really attack this spot more than it was before. And I'm going to die with it potentially, and I hope I don't, but it feels like it's.
You wanted to go. I mean, at the beginning of the show, you were talking about going cheap pitchers, and now the Dodger stack just got better, right? With the cheaper option, who probably is a better hitter as well. I totally get. I mean, I kind of can see the gears turning in your head there as to what you're going to go, right?
Yeah. The big piece I think of it is Justin Turner is 5.8K at third base. Like as silly as that sounds, like I could see him being the low owned, overpriced player. And he is in a he's in a good spot just because I always know he crushes at course. Like I
don't think 5,800 is egregious for Justin Turner at all.
I don't either, but I think people
clearly the best third baseman on the slate, right?
Yeah, I think people will see it as too much when you're looking at Mookie, when you're looking at Trey Turner, and when you're looking at Corey Seager at a lower price. I think people are going to choose to pay up for two of them maybe, and they're not going to pay up for Justin Turner per se.
Justin Turner is like such a good Coors hitter too. He never strikes
so
out.
Good.
Just spraying line drives all over, just finding the gaps over and over again. Yep.
Tony, did you like that too. Congratulate poor K Falik on his win, or
me?
Kind of.
I was leading the charge in the Discord.
He led the charge. He's good.
Okay.
I always, first of all, hold him.
Okay.
I always root for all of these guys. I'm one of the biggest supporters of every one of these guys.
Well, that's not
I love our team. I'll even give you credit, Holden. I've given you a lot of credit lately. You had another great call on Sunday on that show. Right. You can ask people too. I've been talking up that they need to listen to our Sunday Up to Lock show because you had good tidbits every single week. You got really that good pivot guy that was 3K that caught the bomb to get off Cedric Wilson. I don't even remember what his damn name was.
KJ Osborne had me in first place.
You gave that out. DC's boy on his Vikings, right? You gave that out though. That's 2 straight weeks you've given out great tidbits on the Up to Lock show, so I'll even give you credit when it's deserved.
You know Tony's feeling something if he's giving me credit because
I'm giving you a lot of credit when you deserve it.
Last week you gave me, 2 weeks ago you gave me, this week you gave me. I mean, this is amazing. I'm just, this is the best time of life. Anyways, Does
it make you feel like warm and fuzzy when you get credit? Does it make it feel good?
More hard, Tony, than anything else.
Stiff? Full 6 to mid?
Yeah, I'd say so. Our Herzog has a Philly Dodger stack and 3,500 left at shortstop. Do I go DD or leave salary or do a one-off? Well, you like DD today, don't you, DC?
I like the whole Phillies lineup. Yeah, DD included. Yep.
Yeah, so maybe that's the way to go.
Yep.
M. Westlake, Braves or Dodgers?
Braves.
Dodgers.
Yeah. I'm starting to regret fading the Dodgers already. I'm getting the
Hold on, you did fade them?
The FOMO. Getting the FOMO.
You faded them?
But I'm not. Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about it. I'm going with, with the Phillies. Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to. Justin wants to know if he's okay going with Montgomery or Erod in a single entry GPP. I mean, Montgomery's obviously the safer play, guys, but what about a single entry Erod?
I'm not really on Erod.
I'm not on Erod either.
Nobody's on Erod?
Again, I don't dislike Erod in a GPP play solely because I think he has the upside while there is not a ton of upside on this slate.
Oh, okay. Any questions in the free chat? We'll happily do that. Frank M for DKGPP, Realmuto, Rizzo, or Sanchez and Gurriel. Thank you in advance. Then good luck.
The first one.
Yeah, first one. Okay, that's good. We got 5 minutes till lock. Joe wants to know Trey Turner or Altuve. Trey Turner tonight. So let me remind you, hit the like button. That's the first thing. Second thing is there's that red subscribe button up by K Phallic. I believe it's still by K Phallic. I'm not watching the show live. I'm doing it, but it was by K Phallic. It's a little red button.
It is now by DC.
All right, go to DC's head. Is it by his head, would you say?
Shoulder.
All right, go to DC's shoulder and hit the red button by his shoulder. Because then when you subscribe to us, that makes us even happier. And then we give you even better picks. It's just amazing, isn't it? We absolutely love it. Yes, you're welcome, Frank M. We got that for you. Realmuto, Rizzo, or Gary Sanchez, and Gurriel. And well, DC already answered this question, so let me get some other thoughts on this. Mac2 Services. K Phallic, Realmuto, a Galvis, or Maldonado, Justin Turner. First would make sillies.
It's the first
Second,
one.
First one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even that tough, right? It's not even that tough to think about it. Okay, very good. And I'm just looking for some news too. I think everything's kind of set for this slate tonight, boys. Besides for the Angels lineup, I don't know if you guys got a Angels lineup out there right now, but K Phallic, I mean, you're set on your pitchers. You're still attacking the wind blowing in Chicago.
Right now I'm trying to finalize one lineup now that I've made this change. And yes, the short answer is yes, that I'm still going to have pieces of it. Jordan Montgomery is still number one for me.
Pieces.
Okay. Do we all like Jordan Montgomery? Does DC
and everybody
DC
does.
And Gary like him?
Yep.
You
know how that ends.
Jesus, not a member.
It is kind of weird that we all like Jordan Montgomery. I mean, it's a great matchup. He's been kind of consistent too. He's been pretty solid. It does worry me though that we all like him.
We all think he's the best pitcher on the slate. So
I just keep playing him on DK now too. It's just he kind of fits good.
Yeah.
Is he the highest owned tonight, guys? Is Montgomery number one?
Will be among RPS subscribers.
Yeah, if you're if you're with RPS or you're watching the show, you're definitely going Jordan Montgomery chalk. What do you think? Seriously, DC, like, is it Woodruff and Montgomery 1-2 ownership?
I don't know for sure. I think Montgomery will be the highest owned, but I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure. Anybody got a thought on this, Gary?
I mean, it depends.
I think Woodruff will be the highest owned.
Yeah, Woodruff? I think Woodruff too. I mean, he's got the highest projection by a lot. I mean, he's popping in optimals a lot. But it's going to depend on the pitchers in that Chicago game, I think.
I'm almost afraid to read Gavitt's questions now since he keeps getting me, but I'll do it anyways. Stanton or Gallo as my one-off?
Good news. You didn't get messed with that one.
No, because I've heard of Stanton and Gallo. So what do you think, guys? Stanton, Gallo. One-off?
Gallo.
Stevie Boynton's on Erod as a little pivot off of Montgomery. Like, I always think Erod's the ultimate tournament play because he's not in between. 6 shutout innings, 4 innings, 6 runs. That's it for Erod, man. There's like literally nothing else he does.
There's some guys there's some guys you learn you just never get them right, and Erod's one of those for me, like a long time ago. So it's like the fact that I'm not on him doesn't mean he's necessarily a bad play. I just never play the dude. So it's just
Kyle, I did not give out my home run pick. So do you really want me to give out a home run pick? Is that something you want?
Of course.
All right, Cedric Mullins. Give me a little Cedric Mullins.
Cedric Mullins is a freaking beast.
Yeah,
he just crushed all year.
I love him. He's my favorite player, I think. I really think he is my favorite player.
He does it in tough matchups too, where he just hits bombs. And I mean, tonight's obviously not a tough matchup, but he crushed.
He's a talented player. Like, as bad as Baltimore is, holding on to this guy is going to be an interesting thing for them.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he'll be gone in 5 years, 4 years.
I'm going to be interested to see how deep this Medina goes because this projection, every time I've seen a projection high for these cheap guys, they end up doing good. So
is he 3 innings tonight? DC, 3 innings for Medina tonight? How many we got?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I'm not convinced this guy's any good at all, though. So I wasn't really interested in it. Even if he was been a full workload type of guy, I would have been hesitant.
Full workload? You wouldn't have played him at 5K?
I probably would have, but I mean, it wouldn't have been like, I wouldn't have been like singing his praises beforehand.
Yeah, the projection, the point per dollar projection on this slate, that's what I was asking about him. It was It's high, and I can't figure out why. I don't know how he gets to this.
Because he's going against Richie Martin, Kelvin Gutierrez, and a pitcher.
Yeah.
Once though, so
yeah. If he gets,
he has to
if he
strike
goes
out
through
4
9
guys to
batters
get-
though and gets 4 Ks, he's gonna.
Yeah,
be
he has
good.
to get 4 strikeouts to get to the projection that we're both seeing. So
I mean, he did pitch 5 innings on the 5th in AAA. So
He went how if he goes that deep, he's gonna. I
He-
played
he went-
one team. My Dodgers team has Medina, just to be full disclosure. Just so I hope he crushes, because then my Dodgers, I can just play. Like, say Medina gets like 17 fantasy points and Montgomery crushes to where my 2 pitchers crushed. Like, I can just jam the shit out of those chalk Dodgers.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about who I play.
All right, boys, I'm going to go tape the Wishbone pod. Don't forget, hit the like button on the way out. Be nice. Subscribe button, still by DC, I believe. And then the other thing is RPS Heater 25% off your first monthly payment. Make sure you check out all our shows too. We got a cash review show every weekday, 2:00 Eastern time. We got a new show for you, whether it's the cash show, the DFS and bet show, picking winners. We got every day during the week. It's spectacular, the content we got for the NFL guys. So we're finishing strong in baseball. We got the NFL, and before you know it, the NBA is going to be back. So get ready for that. For Kay Fallick, thanks for stopping by on Sukkot, buddy. I appreciate that. I know that's a big one. Gary, DC, Big T. I'm Holden. Simon behind the scenes. Keep running pure, everybody. Simon, get us out of here, eh? You hoser.